Hey, Tim's Workshop here. Hey, I'm getting ready to fog the Mercury engine for winter storage. So first of all, I took off the baffle that goes on the front over the 3 carburetors. Okay, that way I have access to the each of the carburetor throats. And then I also hooked up my remote, right? I have the boat covered right now. I didn't want to have to uncover it to just get in to turn the starter. It's more convenient turning the starter key back here. I have the water hooked up to it. I just got to turn it on. I have Yamalube maintenance storage, right? Engine fogger, okay? And it's for 2-stroke and 4-stroke engines, rust corrosion, and protection during off-season. Okay, excellent engine lubricant. And then it has instructions on here on how to apply it. And one thing on it, once you take the spark plugs out and shoot it in the spark plug holes, it tells you to shoot it for 5 seconds. That's a long time, and you go through a whole can of this, like for 3 cylinders. So I just you know, circle around, you know, with my finger on it, 1 good revolution in the cylinder, and then go through all 3 cylinders that way, just to get enough in there for storage. Not 5 seconds, no. The stuff cost about $10, so, and this is my 2nd season using it, so I still got plenty left, so we're good. And it worked good. When you first start it for the new season, it'll smoke. Of course, 2 strokes smoke anyway, but it'll smoke more than your normal startup. I run ethanol in my fuel tank and through my motor. But what I do is I use the Marine Stable 360, as you saw on my part 1 winterizing video. It's good. It actually, what's left in the carbs has that Marine 360 in it, mixed in with the fuel, and it has oil injection as well. So there's no chance of it having issues plugging up the carbs like you would with regular ethanol unleaded fuel mix if you didn't use a stable. Your lawnmower, your pressure washer, all that stuff. I don't use Marine Stable in it. I only use it for my outboards, but I use a regular stable fuel in my gas can that I pour into those motors, and it works. Next season it starts right up. You know, I don't have no ethanol plugging issue, you know. They say the stuff works for a couple years, so any more than a couple years, then I'd get rid of the fuel and put new fuel in it. Another thing too is this is the wire loom. See if I can get it up here closer so you can see it. It's got corrosion starting around these pins, right? So what I'm going to do is I use the cleaner, spray some cleaner on it. This is electric cleaner, and then get a brush and clean it, and then get some that silicone lubricant. Works great. It's the same stuff you use on your brakes, your backing plate on your brake. It works for that. It works for electric connectors. It works good. So clean it off, use some of that silicone with a brush, brush it on, and you'll be good to go. All right, well, I'll get the water on and we'll start this thing up and fog it. Okay, so first off, I'm gonna pump it up, get it running a little bit before I unplug the fuel line. All right. This has a choke on it too. Choke it again. Shut it off. Disconnect the fuel. Have the Yamalube ready to go. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to spray a little bit in each carburetor after it starts dying, right? As soon as the motor starts dying, you spray each carburetor. So all three carburetors have Yamalube in it, and it'll continue running until the Yamalube starts running out, and then it'll die. Then you're done as far as this end of it. Then you have to take the spark plugs out and then shoot a little in each cylinder, and then put the spark plugs back in for storage for the winter. All right, so that's how you fog it. So let's go ahead and start it back up. Until she dies, or starts to die. There we go. Okay, so that part of it's done. Next, after it cools a little bit, take those spark plugs out and we'll hit the cylinders. All right, take these spark plugs out. See, they're pretty wet, but that's what I do is I take a butane or propane torch, and what I do is I clean all that stuff, I burn it off, right? And then I put it in, and then it's like the spark plug's like new again, you know. But these are getting old enough that these are 2-year-old spark plugs. And the last time I ran it, it ran great. So, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace them this next season, and they'll probably last a couple of years. But what you on a 2-stroke engine, they will be they will be wet. Especially now that I run that fogger through there, they'll be extra wet. So, but anyway, so I'm gonna take these out, but I'm gonna put it back in the same way I took them out. And the reason I do that is because I do that normally when I take the spark plugs out. So this is the top one. That'll be the first plug. These plugs are different lengths, so you'll know which one's the top, which one's the second one, which one's the third one. So you can take them all apart. It doesn't matter, just as long as you put them on the right plugs. When you're done, this one's not as wet as the one on top, but it's wet. That's the second one. And the third one. About the same as the second one. The top one was the wettest of the three. All right, now I should have put my gloves on. Oh well, I got rag here. Okay, grab the fogger here. And it tells you to do this on the directions. It tells you how to do the front part like I did, and then the spark plug holes. So what I do is I just go around once. Same way on the bottom. Bottom one's a little harder to do. Put these over here for now. There we go. Take this and kind of all right. See how corroded these spark plugs are getting? It's from salt water. What I do is I take WD-40, which I should do. Yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and hit it with some WD-40. I didn't have it out in the salt water this year, but just goes to show that once you do have it in salt water, it does make a difference. Okay, my rag here. Don't spray it directly in the motor. What the heck? Ah. There we go. WD works good to cut down on the salt issues. A friend of mine has a stainless steel crab pot puller, and he uses it on that stainless steel too, you know. I went, wow, stainless steel, really? But he does. It's good on the plug wires. All right, now we'll just put these back in. Keep the moisture out of the cylinders during the winter. And I put them in the same way I took them out. Never worried about that with motor engines, vehicle engines. But I don't know where I read it, but on outboard engines, they tell you to make sure you put them in the same holes that they came out of. All right, so tighten them up. Make sure that bottom one. Okay. And I always tighten them up, whether I'm going to be changing them or what. In case I forget, when I start it up, you don't want to have loose spark plugs. Okay, and your spark plugs, same thing. You can use a little bit of that silicone, put it on there, and it makes it so putting these on or taking them off, especially if they've been on for a long time. Since I've had these on and off several times this year, it didn't matter. But if you're going to have these on for a long period of time, put some of that silicone grease on those electrode ends, okay, and then put it on there, and it'll last a lot longer, and it'll be easier to get them on and off. That's the most important thing. All right, so that's it for fogging. Part 2. Part 3 is coming up. Haven't decided yet on what part 3 is, but it is coming. All right. Anyway, you like the video, please subscribe, leave comments, hit that notification ding-a-ling bell, and to get my latest video, and give me a like. All right, thanks.